I'm Alexis Belton, and we are about to send it with some of the hottest topics in golf this week with two very special guests. All right, I am here with Adam Stanley and Alex Miceli, my special guest for the week. We have a huge week this week. It is Majors Week, okay? We have not had one of these weeks in a very long time. I'm very excited about this. However, it is the first major in the COVID era, which means that there will be no fans there. How do you guys feel about having no fans, and will that affect the worth or the prestige of a major championship, specifically for this one, the PGA Championship at TPC Harding Park? Adam, would you like to kick us off?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's definitely going to be very interesting. I spoke with Adam Hadwin, fellow Canadian, yesterday, just about everything that's been going on thus far. And the thing that he told me that really was his takeaway was this week so far, Monday at the PGA Championship, feels exactly like any other Monday that they've had during this return to golf. So maybe not so much on the prestige side of things in terms of, well, it's still a major, it's still the PGA, you're still going to go down in the record books and in history as winning a major championship. But, you know, at least in talking to one of the guys, week to week, this week does not feel any different than any of the other weeks. And that's got to mean something.
You know, Lex, I think there's a couple of things. One, listening to Adam, the whole history of the event, 10, 20, 30 years from now, nobody's going to remember that this happened during the COVID era. Nobody's going to remember there were no fans around. Nobody's going to remember any of that stuff. And the guy who wins is going to walk away with $1.8 million or whatever it is and a big trophy, and have a major by their name. So all of that is not going to change. So they get up every day, big boys, you know, cinch on their pants and go out there and try to win a golf tournament. And it's not any different than what all these athletes are doing in all these different sports. I mean, I watch baseball a lot, and this is what they're doing as well. No fans, but you got to get around it. You got to figure it out. So I don't think the prestige changes, certainly. And I think that this is going to be treated just like any other one as we go down the road.
For sure. I definitely agree with that. I think one thing I wish that they would have would be maybe reactions, if they somehow, for viewership, maybe have some live feed of players that aren't there, maybe someone from Barstool Sports, or just to watch fan reactions around the world as you're watching on TV, I think would be pretty cool. But as you said, it will still be an incredible course. You'll still have the top players from around the world competing. And with that, who do you think is going to take home the trophy? And who is someone that you think is going to be a sleeper, someone that no one's talking about right now that might be in contention on Sunday?
I like Bryson DeChambeau for a lot of reasons. He's going to have to get past the fact that everybody seems to hate him. But the good thing for Bryson is there are no fans out there to give him grief. You know, I think that's a huge thing. Just like with Bubba Watson, I mean, people would say things. There's nobody out there to say anything. So I think that's a positive. You know, on the sleeper side, I'm picking somebody way down in the sleeper venue. If I was in my DraftKings right now, I'd be way down. I'd save a lot of money. I'm going with Jim Furyk because the course at 7,200 plus is not too bad, even though it's a par 70. He just won last week on the Champions Tour. This is the type of golf course that I think Jim Furyk would really feast on back in the day. And now we'll see if he can do it here. I mean, the last time he's played well in a PGA Championship was at Oak Hill in 2013 when Duffner won. But the good thing about Furyk is he's got 90 plus majors under his belt. So there's very few guys that are going to have that kind of experience. All in all, I like somebody like a Furyk.
Yeah, I was just thinking, man, Jim Furyk, wow. And then I saw those photos of the rough that were posted on social media on Monday, and just thought, you know, a Jim Furyk type, somebody who hits it really straight, may actually play pretty well this week, all things considered. So, you know, from my favorite pool, you know, I really like Webb Simpson this week. I mean, here's a guy who's won a major before, won the Players Championship before as well, and has already won this season too. So I like Webb a lot. The last two WGCs that have been played at TPC Harding Park have been won by the number one golfers in the world, certainly Tiger Woods in 2005 and Rory McIlroy in 2015. So like Justin Thomas this week as well, like Alex said, Jon Rahm too, to finally break through and win his first major championship. From the sleeper category, you know, I like a guy like Cameron Champ. I mean, California native, hits the ball a really long way, has won this season already. One of his PGA Tour victories came in California at the Safeway Open. We're back in California now. He's a West Coast guy, so certainly is very comfortable with the grasses, with the green reading, et cetera, et cetera. You know, coming off of the COVID-19 diagnosis, so he's back feeling better than ever. So I like Cameron Champ from the long shot category this week.
For sure. There's going to be a lot of exciting players. It's going to be interesting to see, you know, a couple of players like Tiger and Adam come in who haven't really played a lot of tournament golf with the restart and how they finish up. I'm excited to watch on Sunday. It's definitely going to be a little bit of a different feel with it being a major. But last but not least, I have to always leave a question and a topic for the Lpga in women's golf. I've been in women's golf as long as I can remember now. They just started back last week at Inverness, which some could say looked almost like as if it was a major. It was one of the longest courses they've ever played. And the greens were beautiful. Course was really tough. Conditions were tough. Danielle Kane came out with the win. What storylines are y'all excited to follow this year for the Lpga, as they haven't played for 166 days leading up to that?
Well, what's interesting for me, you know, as a Canadian, obviously follow Brooke Henderson extremely, extremely closely. And Brooke has won 9 times already on the Lpga Tour. She's the winningest Canadian, male or female, in the history of professional golf already, and she's 22 years old. And yet she is going to make her debut at the Women's British Open, and has told me in the past, we talked last week, that she may only play the majors, and hopefully, given her results in those, get to the season finale in Florida, the CME Group Tour Championship. So what I'm personally keen for is to see how much the international presence, or lack thereof, is going to be impacting the fields moving forward, because obviously, you know, from a international perspective, whether they be Asian golfers, European golfers, or Canadian golfers, of course, I mean, they are doing extremely, extremely well on the Lpga Tour, and have been for a number of years. That's not to take away from the American successes that we've seen as well, but I'm going to be interested to see who's going to play and when, and how that's going to impact the fields moving forward and the strength of fields moving forward. But hey, when you get the best women golfers in the world together, like at the Women's British in a couple weeks' time, I think that's going to be spectacular. And to your point, Alexis, as well, about Inverness, man, that golf course looks so good on TV. Can't wait for the Solheim Cup run-up for next year over there as well.
For sure. Alex?
You know, after Danielle won last week, it became clear that she has a real opportunity to be the #1 player in the world. And it has been so long, it seems, since an American has been the #1 player in the world. So I'm interested to see that. I'm interested to see if Danielle Kang, who clearly has got enough game, can actually accomplish that goal and that feat. Because I think American women have kind of been left behind a little on the Lpga. I mean, we've got, obviously there's some very good players. There's Lexi as an example, but you know, where are the American women? And it became very clear when I was at the Solheim Cup last year that they kind of let an opportunity get past them because they didn't have the same, they just didn't have it. And I want to see, you know, I'm American, not Canadian. You know, I want to see American players play well. And I think the interest level in the United States will continue to grow at a better clip if there are Americans involved in the mix. Not necessarily that they have to be overwhelming, but I think if there's Americans involved in the mix, there's going to be more interest by the American fan. And if not, then I think it's going to help. It's not going to help the Lpga. And obviously now with a new contract coming up with the Golf Channel, I think it gives them a little more to promote as well. So I'm interested to see what Danielle Kang can do and if she can get it done.
Same. I also think there's a lot of great rookies coming up, American and international. It's going to be exciting to see who the next group of superstars are going to be. So thank you guys so much for sharing and for speaking today. Make sure that you tune in next week on Send It.